Hello America, and welcome back to another Ask Task. It's the second one, and I got a lot more questions, so let's get it on! Miss Pasquale asked, what's your fantasy show? And she's talking about Red Eye. My fantasy show for Red Eye would be Lisaa de Pasquale, Terry Shepard, Brett R. Smith, and Anthony Cumia. Because every show with Anthony Cumia in it is a good show. Facko asks, who's your favorite Red Eye guest of all time? I just answered that. Mr. Cumia. You know, when I started watching Red Eye more often, it was in 2009, and that's when he started coming into. And so whenever he was on, I was just like, oh, let's watch it type of thing. And usually it was on every Friday, so I got to watch it when I could stay up later. So that was... And it's more of a, I knew him longer than the other guests, so, you know, it's a big part of Red Eye to me, and he's just a cool dude. And plus the fact that he's like, I'm gonna make my own channel in like my basement or whatever, and everybody was making fun of him and stuff, and look how successful he is now, and I'm like, that's inspiration. If that's not inspirational, I don't know what is. So, you know, kudos to Mr. Cumia, but yeah, he's my favorite. Lisaa of Scottsdale. I didn't write it down. I just put Lisaa. She asks, is Facko really Nicki Minaj? And I say, Mr. Rowe asks, how hard is it to detail Mr. Cumia's curls? You know, they're pretty thick, man. That's all I do, is just until they're, you know, it's all filled. That's all I do. It's not difficult, but it wastes a lot of ink. So, you know, it has to be perfect. Another one of Facko. He asked this like a long time ago when I was gonna make Ask Task 2, but it never happened. So that was like in September of last year, but I remembered it. So he asked, one life vest, Facky and E-Sig stuck on a sinking ship. Who do you save? I want to say Evan, because, you know, he's my friend, and you're not Facko. So love you. Bye. Andrea Bryant asks, if I ever meet you, will you sign my damaged yet extraordinarily prized Red Eye mug? And I say, of course. If I meet any of you, I will sign anything you want. And I mean anything. But yeah, that would be really cool to meet you, Miss Bryant, because, you know, you were cool. You were one of the first ones to buy my Red Eye mug, and it was really cool. Because I never really sold anything before, and I never, you know, it was kind of like a new thing to me, and thank you for buying that mug. It is really cool. Anthony Florio asks, what's your favorite snack to eat while drawing? I like me some Cheez-Its. I like me some goldfish crackers, you know, because the cheddar stuff always, And also, if I'm lucky, I like animal crackers. You know, I'm just a big old kid, you know. I like my stuff. You know, when you get used to something, you don't want to change it because it's already good. You don't want to, like, oh, I'm gonna try new things. No, I'm gonna stick with my Cheez-Its and goldfish and animal crackers. Andy Mac asks, if one dog goes one way and the other dog goes the other way, what's the guy saying? What do you want from me? JohnBai asks, who's your idol? God. Because you can't have any idols before him, so it's just how it is. But really, you know, God made, you know, the universe. He made everybody. So when I like somebody, I'll be like, thanks God, because you made him, basically. Tom Shalhoub and Bill Lobley, because both of them are just so cool. Tom Shalhoub being the host of Red Eye. Greg Gutfeld. He's cool. But Tom Shalhoub holds a special place in my heart because he did a lot for me, you know? And Bill Lobley, because he's like, he does everything. Everything. And I'm like, that's what I wanted to do when I was young. I'm like, I'm gonna do this and that and this and that. And everybody was just like, that's kind of weird. And I was just like, but it could happen, you know? And seeing Bill Lobley do all this stuff, I'm like, yeah. Looking at the people that say, you can't do that, I'm like, he did it, why can't I, you know? I really like him, and he did a lot for me too, and they're, him and Mr. Shulu are friends, so, and they're just really cool people. But yeah, I thank God every day for them, because they're just, it's just like the best people to like hang out with, you know? And someday I will hang out with them. Y'all cool. Jacer asks, what are you? I don't know how to, I don't even know what that means. What are you? I'm an artiste. Another Facko question. How many fingers do you have? And I say 20 because all my toes I use as fingers. I can pick up anything with my feet. LaBrute asks, what color is your poop this week? Excellent question, LaBrute. But I have to say, I didn't poop this week. Andy Mac asks, can I take you out to the pictures, Joanne? No. Sollicitus CW3 asks, if there is a God, and God is a good God, why does Tom Shalhoub still wear those sweaters? I mean, Tom Shalhoub, he's a stylish man. He's rocking out those sweaters. I have sweaters in there because I'm like, I want to be just like him. And, you know, those sweaters are like really comfy. They're really comfy. But, and you look good in them. But I know it's summer, but like, there's rarely like no fancy clothes for summer, so you know, you kind of like wear a sweater and then you take it off when you're done. Crooked Letta asks, at what temperature do I reheat the cove fifi? Cove fifi? I always said cove because everybody knows what I'm talking about. Nobody knows how to say it, but the cove fifi is you should reheat it at 69 degrees and it would be a perfect temperature after like a minute. I make a mean cove fifi. Mr.McNabb asks, is the meaning of life the same for all of us and will it fit on one page? Yeah, I think the ultimate goal is to just be good and so that we can all get to heaven. Will it fit on one page? You know, the rules is don't be a stupid jerk and you will be fine. And I think that's what the meaning of life is. Hey. Davicu asks, what do you think about the president of your country? Who he appointed? He got people that would like tell him, like, wouldn't be afraid to tell him like, no, this is what we should do type of thing. And I really like that. He got Mattis in there. He's a really cool dude. I was just like, wow, nice, you know? And so when he was appointing all these people, I was just like, okay, cool. Because I really, when they were all candidates and stuff, I didn't like any of them. I was just like, you know, Ben Carson was my dude. He's cool. So when Trump was in office, I'm just kind of like, you know, but when he was appointing people, I was just like, oh, never mind. Because really, Trump isn't the actual leader, it's like the people. And when he appoints all of these people that aren't yes men, then he's just doing a great job just there. I've noticed a lot of things are happening that are really good and stuff. The only thing that's bad is the people who are like, Trump is ruining the country and it's not even been half a year, you know? When they're complaining, it hasn't been even like 100 days. It was the first 100 days everybody was just bitching about him being president, about him being Hitler and stuff. It's just one of those things where people try to strike fear into other people to tell them like, oh, you need to believe in us, and if you don't, then F you, and you're gonna get hurt type of thing. And to me, it's pretty fascist of the left. Disney Nerd Infinity 10 asks, what do you think about DeviantArt ranters? Do you think they give good, thoughtful criticism, or do you think they're a bunch of ignorant teens who don't know what they're saying? You know, I personally, on DeviantArt, I've never had a ranter before. I don't think I have. and if I had, I kind of like put them out. But I have seen it on other people. There's some people who's like, oh, this isn't correct and you should make it like this and stuff. Well, to me, I'm like, it's art, it's in their style, like a person from a show that they drew, it's in their style, and you should just like yeah, criticize sometimes, like, oh, maybe you should do this a little bit, and not saying you need to do this, you need to do that, and oh, this sucks type of thing. That stuff sucks. I don't like ranters where they're like really disrespectful and stuff. And even the ones that are a little, you know, are respectful, some of them come across as like they're calling you stupid because you made a certain thing this way and not that type of thing. And to me, I think you should just like, if you don't like what they say, just ignore it. You're just like, you know, what am I gonna do? You know, I'm not gonna change what I drew just because this person says, oh, you should do it that way. I don't like ranters. Really don't. Because you're just like, what are you talking about? Ranters, just ignore them. They're nobody. Your art is good. Neon Miss Mia asks, how did you choose your username? My initials, TAS, and then the resident artist is from when I was in 7th grade. I started drawing a caricature of my teacher, Mr. Dacus, every day on the whiteboard so everybody could see it. It'd be like the Dacus of the day, and I'd like draw him as a certain person. Like one week was Star Trek, and I made him as Bones and Spock and Kirk, Scotty. I did that for 2 years and people really liked it. And Dakeinator, he always called me his resident artist. In 2009 for the 8th grade graduation, which really sucked. I didn't want to graduate from junior high. I was gonna miss Dakeinator, I was gonna miss String Bean, like all of these people that I made like comics of them all the time. They're all so cool. But you know, I needed to move on to high school, and I was just like, crap. Dakeinator, he's like the hard ass, you know. Everybody says that he's so strict, he's so disciplined, you know, and everybody was just so like, oh, you know, and I've never seen him smile before type of thing, and I'm just kind of like, that's weird. We enjoyed each other's company and stuff, and I looked forward to it every day, and to show that I liked doing the caricature. Usually in the 8th grade ceremony, a graduation ceremony, they had all of the school come. And each year I would see Dacus, he would, because each teacher had to give out an award, Dacus would like give like one person an award, and he was just like, whatever, you're the least to slack off type of thing. And, but like that year when I was graduating, he was like giving out awards left and right, and I'm like, that's not like him type of thing. And when he was about to leave, I was just like crying, you know? I was just like, he didn't say my name. And then all of a sudden, he like looked at me, he went back, and he was like, and this award I'll never ever do, like ever give to anybody ever again type of thing. And I was just like, he's like, the Resident Artist Award. He like hand-drawn the award and stuff, and it was just so cool. We shook hands, and everybody was just like, oh, and I was just like, we're both crying because we knew we were like, we're not gonna see each other. Oh my god. And but man, it was cool, but it was also really sad because I was gonna miss him, you know. And I knew I would like visit him and stuff, but just won't be the same seeing him every day, you know. I miss drawing Dacus of the day, you know. And that's been 10 years ago that happened, so that I started the Dacuses of the day. Almost 10 years ago. Wow. Resident Artist Studios is the company name. He's the logo. And we're, you know, I just thought it was a really cool thing because, you know, with the award that he gave me, I can never repay him for that. That is going to be the best thing I have ever received from anybody. No one else could beat it, you know. So that's why I'm called the Resident Artist, is because of Dakeinator, and I call him Dakeinator. It was a nice thing to have a friend like that, The final question is from GhostBun. He asks, what's a movie or TV show you were disappointed in and why? That took me a long time to think because I don't think I ever like not liked a movie or like disappointed in a movie where I was just like, oh, that looks like a good movie and then it's not type of thing. I don't think that ever happened. A disappointment is more of a disgust when I got Once Upon a Time in America. I looked at the box because I was trying to remember. I'm like, there's a story where there's these two guys, they're best friends, and at the end one of the best friends had to kill the other best friend. And I was just like, what is that movie? I couldn't remember it because it's been so long. I was just like, I remember it being really good and it was a mafia movie, so, and I liked it. And this was when I was a kid, so I was just like, I don't remember that. And so when I was looking at Once Upon a Time in America and I was reading about it, I'm like, oh, that's the movie that I was looking for. And so I bought it and I told Dad, I'm like, hey, do you want to watch this with me? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, yeah, it's been a while since I watched this because, you know, I recognized it. So it must be the movie I was looking for. So we popped it in and instantly regretted it. I was just like, I don't remember any of this. And Dad was just like, whoa. And I kept looking at him like, oh shit. Because when there's a kid in there and you're looking over at your dad like, wow, that's a sex scene. You look at him like, you know, parent and kid, that's really awkward. You're just looking at him like, okay, you know, like, hopefully that was the last one, you know, type of thing, but really I knew it wasn't going to be because that was like somewhat in the beginning of the movie still, and I'm just like, ooh, bad touch, senpai. So when we were watching it, I remembered most of it except the sex scenes. There was like a buttload of sex scenes and I was just like, oh, and there was a rape scene and I'm just like, why, you know, like, Sergio Leone, like, I love your movies, but that was just, it went too far, and I was just like, you could get the point across, just don't. But it was like something that hasn't been done before, and it was, you know, it had to be done type of thing. It was a good story, good telling of the story, but it was just kind of like, it was really uncomfortable, and I kept looking at Dad like, ugh. Like, watching it by yourself would be uncomfortable, but watching it with someone else and going, like, this was a good movie, but I don't remember any of this, you know, and Dad was just like, okay, you know, and I was just like, geez, I'm sorry, you know, it was disappointing because it ended up where it wasn't the movie I was looking for. But for some reason I remembered most of the movie, so I was assuming they played it on TV one time and I watched it and they like just took out all the sex scenes. It was just, oh man, it was so bad. And my dad was just like, uh-huh, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you know, I didn't know. But, you know, I'm never gonna watch that movie again. One time was enough. And I still haven't found that movie I was looking for. I just remember it being a really good movie. Not that. And for a television series that I was disappointed in is the Chicago series, like Chicago Fire and then Chicago PD, then there's Chicago Med and Justice now. And I'm like, Dick Wolf, stop, calm down, you know? Because Chicago Fire, it was really good. Characters were great. I love me some Herman, you know, and, you know, all of it was good. And then Chicago PD came in and I'm like, alright, that's cool, you know. Voight's Bay and, that one guy's Bay, I can't even remember. It's been so long since I watched it because it's been like, Chicago Fire, it got to the point where it's just like, oh, let's look at the love life of these people and, oh, let's put drama here and, you know, drama there type of thing. And I'm just kind of like, oh, it's so unrealistic. Back when it first started out, it was kind of unrealistic anyway. I mean, reality shows like that, it's not realistic. Stuff like that. He was trying to be like a modern day Jack Webb, because Jack Webb did like Emergency and Adam 12 and Dragnet type of thing. That stuff was cool and it was realistic, but Dick Wolf gets into like the everyday thing, like current events and stuff, and takes it, and it's just how it goes about it sometimes kind of like, it's not necessarily the current event problems, but it's like he changes the characters to fit the narrative, like, and that's weird. You can't change your characters. Like Gabby wanted to become a fireman, and then it was just like I'm female and I'm better than you type of thing, and it was just weird. Like her character changed dramatically from a badass to like someone who just kind of like whines all the time, and like, I don't know, she's just annoying. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just really like cringy. You're just like, what happened to this show, you know? And then after like Chicago PD, that was cool because Chicago PD was so intertwined into the Chicago fire that I'm like, that's cool. And then when they're showing like the hospital more, I was just like, they're gonna come out with Chicago Med, aren't they? Then that came out, I was just like, that's too much. That is too much, you know? And then all of a sudden, Chicago Justice, I'm like, Dick Wolf, you need to calm down. Again, I'm just like, don't. Just don't. You don't need 4 shows, bro. But you know, just watch more of Jack Webb's stuff and learn from his stuff, because he never changed Joe Friday's character. He never changed anybody's character to fit a narrative. He just had this character deal with this event the way that they would, you know, and not, oh, I'm gonna change their like opinion on things or their personality on so that it could, to make more drama type of thing, and to make the story roll like, oh, what's gonna happen next type of thing. I'm not into it. It gets to the point where it's just like, what is this show, you know? I used to like it. I still like it because of some of the characters are still them, but Dick Wolf, why'd you have to do it, man? Why'd you have to do it? Anyway, so that was another Ask Task. It's the second one. I'm gonna do the third one the start of next month or the end of this month. Who knows? Or wait until August or September. Whatever it may be, I'm gonna do it. So, you know, it's been a year since I did one, so. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a year. Bye!